I mean, if Sumit was more available and didn't have to work so much, we could maybe do fun things.
Do fun things.
I want to have fun with you.
Do fun things. Do fun things.
I want to have fun with you. I want to have fun with you.
Do fun things.
Nice.
It's hard to catch up with the rhythm, but...
This was fun, but now I got to go home and sleep for 3 weeks.
Just look at those moves! When their time on reality TV comes to an end, I think a new career as Bollywood dancers awaits. That is, if they're still in India. But we'll get to that shortly. We join Jenny and Sumit in this episode, as we just saw, at a Bollywood dance class. Jenny definitely appeared to enjoy it more than ziplining or Kama Sutra classes. But did anyone else notice how, miraculously, Jenny's shoulder appears to have made a remarkable recovery? Makes me wonder, could she have been exaggerating the seriousness of the injury just a little bit in the last episode? Perhaps as a way of reminding Sumit she doesn't want him to work 7 days a week. Unfortunately, if that was indeed her plan, it hasn't worked.
That was one of the best time we spent together till now.
Yeah, for sure. Got to come and got off work. Are we going to be losing you tomorrow to work?
Yeah, going to work. How to?
But it's not just work that's going to be the problem. You see, Sumit also has plans to try and reconnect with his parents again. The last time he reached out to them and arranged a meeting, they didn't show, but he's hoping his persistence will pay off.
I have to go and see my family.
But one thing's for sure, he wasn't expecting Jenny's daughter-in-law, Jen, to suggest this.
Maybe it's a good idea we all go.
I would love to meet your family.
You say,
Actually, I'm thinking about it, like...
This is surprising for Sumit, because the last time Christina spoke to his family on the tell-all, they didn't exactly get on. But then again, Sumit should know better than anyone that shouldn't stop you from trying again. I think his real concern is more the fact that he's worried Christina is going to start trouble.
We're not here to disrespect your family, your culture, but we also aren't going to let your family berate my mom either, you know? There's no way in Hades that I would let anybody disrespect my mom, not while I'm standing next to her.
Sumit already saw firsthand in the last episode how Christina isn't exactly afraid of confrontation. But I think there's also more to it than just that. You see, Sumit claims his reluctance is because...
Yeah, worried about it, like if any hard conversation started, then I will be like, calm down.
Okay, so Sumit doesn't want to be caught in the middle, and that's a valid reason for being cautious. But it does raise the question, if they were to argue, whose side would he be on? It doesn't seem like it would be Jenny's or Christina's. His loyalty is to his parents.
I don't want them to say anything wrong to my family, because then I will be in a situation that I have to defend my parents as well.
And I think he's aware enough to realise that's not what Christina expects.
If we get to meet Sumit's family tomorrow, it's gonna show us how Sumit reacts and protects my mom, defends my mom, whether it costs you or your family or not.
Yeah, I don't think that's a sacrifice Sumit's willing to make, Christina. But there's also an entirely different reason why I suspect Sumit doesn't want this meeting to go ahead. He doesn't say this, but it's a safe bet to make that he's worried his parents might bring up the promise that Sumit's made to his aunt. Remember, he promised his aunt that he and Jenny would have a kid, but Sumit hasn't yet grown a pair of balls and told Jenny about this plan of his. How awkward and embarrassing for Sumit would it be if that news broke at this meeting? Interestingly, for the first time that I can remember, Jenny actually wants to meet Sumit's family again. She feels it would be nice to have someone in her corner for once.
Nobody's going to force you, but my daughters are here and I need their support. So I think right now is the best time, because before they leave India, and then I'm left here by myself to fight the fight by myself again.
Now, this brings us on to the next morning. While we don't yet know if the meeting between Jenny and her family and Sumit and his family will go ahead, what we do know is that Jenny really doesn't like to clean. Sumit may have cooked for them all last night, but she's still not happy with him.
Oh my God. You leave so much dishes for me to wash after cooking last night? I used so many dishes.
You know, I have to go to work.
Convenient excuse, Sumit. Either way, as Sumit leaves, we learn that behind his back, Jenny has arranged a call with an immigration attorney. Having her daughter and daughter-in-law in India has made her realise just how much she misses America. So, in secret, which appears to be a theme with these two, she now wants to begin the process to get him over to America.
Sumit doesn't even want to consider moving to America. I feel bad for going behind his back, but I don't want to scare him by telling him I'm starting this process.
Yeah, that's a bit of a problem, don't you think, if your husband doesn't actually want to come to America? And just to add to the complexity, Jenny also learns that this is going to be a very slow process.
You need to wait for minimum 2 years to get the decision on this because of the backlog.
Oh my God.
From the day we start the process.
But that's not the worst news that Jenny's going to get in this call. You see, she soon finds out that Sumit's parents may have more of a role in his immigration than she initially realised.
They won't interview his family, will they?
They can.
That is an oh shit moment right there. Naturally, the attorney spots this. I mean, it's pretty difficult to miss. And he asks Jenny, why are you concerned about that? When Jenny explains that Sumit's parents aren't exactly her biggest fan, he asks a very important question, one that never crossed her mind.
Have they ever opposed legally through the authorities or police or somewhere that they have filed a complaint on their son's relation with you?
That's kind of wild that that's even a thing, isn't it? His parents can legally object to his marriage. That despite the fact he's a 33-year-old man of sound mind, capable of making his own decisions. But that doesn't matter. You see, as the lawyer explains, if his parents already have, or at some point do, complain, this will show up on Sumit's police record. And that would be a huge problem.
He will need to give me his police clearance certificate.
Yeah.
So if at all there is any complaint, then he will have a problem of getting the PCC issued.
As Jenny acknowledges, she doesn't think his parents have legally objected, but when it comes to how much they hate her, nothing would surprise her.
I'll be surprised and shocked if they don't try to do something to stop this.
Now, the question I have here is, if his parents have objected, would Sumit know? And if he does know, would he tell Jenny? I mean, we already know that these two like to keep secrets from each other, Sumit especially. But given that he knows already that Jenny is thinking of going back to the States, I mean, she's told him this on numerous occasions, and given that he doesn't want to go back, wouldn't it serve his best interests just to keep quiet if such a problem did exist? Given Sumit's track record, I think that's a valid concern. I can definitely see him using that as a convenient excuse. But if Jenny thinks that this is a solution to her problems, she's going to be in for a very rude awakening. This is not going to work.
My daughter wants to meet Sumit's family. Maybe the thought of taking Sumit away from his family to America, it might make his parents rethink how they treat us.
Yeah, that's not very likely, is it? I mean, I'm all for Jenny's daughter helping to fight her battles, but if she thinks she's going to scare Sumit's family into accepting her, that isn't the best approach. If anything, the threat of losing him is only going to guarantee that they do legally object, if they haven't already.